And we're up. We're live. For those people that are watching later, it might be a little boring. For those people that are watching live, a whole lot more fun. And my contact info right here. There you go. These are the cool stickers that you get if you buy a set of crankcase tools, which you can watch last night's video. I think last night's video used the tools. So if you need crankcase tools, you can email me. So I'm going to bring you up over here. That way I can read comments as we go. Six people here already. Wow. Okay. Merry Christmas, Nikki. Yep. James is here. Good. Hey. iBrash, KO6, and KO7. Okay. Welcome. Hey, Larry. The only caber ring that I have is inside of a 372 piston. So I'm going to steal it. You know, me too, Nikki. I'll tell you what, but finding parts and whatnot, ugh. And unfortunately, we're not going to get this to run because I really need to kit the carburetor. I need a few things on here that I don't have. One is the bracket for the muffler, and I need a carburetor kit. When I tear one of these carburetors apart, I'm just going to want to put a kit in there, you know? So click. There's your ring. So, we don't need too much else here. Put a little bit of James and Ken, welcome. Thank you for showing up, guys. Appreciate it. Just needed that silly ring before I put this head on here, you know? John, the only thing that I do is put a little bit of WD-40 sometimes. There's no specific assembly lube here. Again, as soon as you start it, this is all going to get lubricated. So I coat the whole thing with WD-40. All you need to do is get it over the first few revolutions, and it's good. I've not had an issue that was an assembly lube issue, you know. It'd be nice to have a base too, right? Now, I'm not going to goop these up. I'm just going to use a regular old gasket here. Nothing fancy. Sometimes you lube, you know, you can do whatever you want here. If you want to use 1184 on the gasket, that's fine. If not, fine. Yeah, you know, a lot of the guys coat with mix oil. That's fine. You can use 2-cycle oil. I don't have a problem with that. Okay, so we've got the clips. 1, 2. The clips are on and down and fine. You want to make sure that they are fully circular, like in that recess there. Bring this down to roughly around the bottom dead center. Makes it easier. some volts. There's all kinds of theories on like break-in and whatnot, and getting the rings to seat and all that stuff. There are so many other issues that can happen with these motors. I just never seem to get there, if you know what I mean. These are 3/16, a little bit of grease on the end, and allows you to put that head bolt right on there. Liam is getting serious. What do you mean? He's making good videos? Well, I hope so. I hope so. Let me just feel this. There we go. Nice and smooth. So again, with this, no decompression valve here, so I'm not going to drop the jug or anything like that to improve compression. I'm going to run this as Husky intended. What you doing, Chris? Nice and easy here. Forgive my kids, kind of. Hey, William. We were just talking about you, I think. Ken was just talking about you. There are some inexpensive Chinese parts, 52 millimeter kits. What do you think? And what parts do you know of? Speaking of, yeah. So yeah, you know, the aftermarket parts topic is very interesting. It's always been interesting, Nikki. I think it's going to continue to get interesting. There are certain things that I think just don't matter in the sense of certain parts are good enough, and other parts you kind of need to go OEM still. So far, I'm convinced, like starter switches, I think you need to go OEM on those. I've tried the aftermarket ones. They're just not that robust. So there's your head on. And then what you can do is go in like the intake here and hit it with WD-40 again also. So the piston is nice and coated. I got a comment, I think this morning, never-ending crap about the WD-40 thing. I just don't think I think it's convenient enough to have it here, and it works well enough to get the sauce started. Hey, Craig. Hey, Peter. Peter, did I get to answer your question from last night? I forget. What happened? My battery went last night, and I'm worried that I left somebody hanging. I know WD-40 is everything but a lubricant. Yes, I know. WD-40 is actually not really good at pretty much anything compared to the other options that are out there. But it's here. I have it. And for me, it works. But back to Nikki's question, you know, some stuff is probably fine. Some stuff is, what are you going to say, you know? I'm not sure right now that the aftermarket carburetors are there. I tend to like the OEM carburetors. I've had some pretty good aftermarket clutches. Like the 394 aftermarket clutches tend to be just fine. Instead of spending like $80 for a clutch or whatever it is. What can I do with it? I know the cylinder condition. Yeah, you can go to a 52 millimeter. For the money, the OEM 52 millimeter 272 head is still available, and it's reasonably inexpensive. So that's what I'm going to do, and would highly suggest that. Now, if you just want to screw around, then get the cheapest 52 millimeter head you possibly can and start messing around with it, you know? I don't like aftermarket coils in general, as a general rule. You know, we can just test the switch and see if it's any good. I have my multimeter around here somewhere. Of course, if I can't find my meter, then we can't test the switch. Should be here. I don't see it. That is a 262 crank that I've got here. No, I don't see my meter. Electrical meter. Probably over. I'll go get it in a minute. Might as well open this. The irony here is I went and bought a 268 crank that I now won't need. And this one is indeed M10, so this is the really older school one, you know. The other one I'm pricing because it might make it. You have to find it going down. Yeah, if you go down the inexpensive route, you know, and you can make it work, good for you, you know. That's Mason texting me here. I'm just sending him a note that I'm live. Yeah, so here's this crank. Let's see if this one's a little bit of Scotch-Brite. I think I'm going to put this in my box of goodies. Just so everybody knows, from last night, Mason is actually average timber cutter. He signed it. I didn't know that. the steel bid last week? What steel bid? The steel build, yes. So what we built is Mason just tested it today apparently, and he'll next time he's here I'll let him talk more on it. But apparently it runs pretty good. It does not run quite as good as the last one did before it blew up. But the last one blew up, and this one hasn't. So there's always that. Cleans up nice. Pretty nice crank, really. So that's going to go over here into my box of goodies. So yeah, it runs good. I think I'm gonna have the head sent out to do some machining. I'm not absolute on that, but I think that would be a good idea. Just to have it machined and see if I can get it a little better. His stock 064 is pretty stout, and I think I can get it to run with that, but it should theoretically beat it. A ported 660 should beat an 064, but you know. Let me see if I can find my meter. Hang on a second. Switch seems to work. Okay. So no sense in changing that one out. There's a tiny screw in here. Goes there. There we go. Okay. So right now I'm waiting on the carburetor kit. What else can we do? I guess we can do. Oh, I guess we can do the coil. No harm there. Doesn't really matter which coil I put in. I'm gonna wash this part. I'll be right back. Put the coil in. coil's ready to go. Bent. Humbug. Where does the 260 put in 260? No, the 262 is completely different. The 266 is in there with the 61, 268, 272. Right, 266 is just an early 268, basically. And somebody had the idea to throw a 52 millimeter jug on it. Uh, 25 anti-vibe dampers. They appear to only press fit in. Oh. Now you're asking the hard questions. I've done the 257 before, so it probably shares dampers with that. They kind of squish in there. Yeah. I don't know what limits you on changing them. It might be the tank. The tank might limit you on changing them. Hey, Timmy. Welcome. Yeah, Timmy, we're not too serious around here. we have fun. We hang out. Yeah, this is actually like the boredom channel, just so you know. But we have a great crew here. A lot of really nice people show up and hang out. Everybody seems to play nice, which is really cool. And you're welcome to chime in and ask questions and all that fun stuff too. Press fit. You should be able to. Worst comes to worst, cut it and stick something coarse in there and rip it out. I don't remember it being that difficult to do. Just putting the coil in here, and this is really just a ratty tatty 268. This is not something I've cleaned up immaculate. This is not a Concours level build, if you know what I mean. Same chassis Josh read. I just put some, because I'm getting ready to pick it up in a bar. Stop dropping head ball 3 inches of play. Hey, Sean. Welcome. Been a while. Timmy, I didn't understand the last part of that. Go real easy tightening these down until you know you've got it. Pretty cost money. Yeah, that's true. Is that 55C? This one is a 268, so 68 cc basically. It's got a 50 millimeter top end, but I don't know what the stroke is. Mr. Cadbury Boo. I know how you feel, buddy. I really do. Okay. There's that. The head bolts are tight. The coil's tight. We torqued this down. remember exactly what to do with this, but I think that's probably going to be close. Is this an okay lead? Yes, it is. For some reason, this needs to be up a little bit. Okay. There we go. This goes in that channel. And then through here. Okay. This way, there's a $395 eBay, 2 days left. No top end, $125 free ship. Well, that's all you, Craig. Not you. I forget anything. See, I've got some covers here. Do I put the aftermarket cover on? Or do I put like the original 61 cover on? I think I have. Not that one. That one's kind of crap. Aftermarket cover or the original 61 cover? For me, no, I don't need to build any more of those. Right, fat cover, flat cover. Great. Brian, got most of your answer last night about the Civic Center. Brian, I'm sorry, the battery died. I was supposed to answer that question, and I forget what I forget what I was saying. What was the question? Terrible. Think about that. Let me go clean this off just a little bit, and now you know what? I'm not going to clean this off a little bit. I'm going to clean it off a lot. I really need to take this apart. Yeah, this is yucky. I need to take this apart. Doing a ratty tatty build is one thing. Making it completely terrible is another. The 181. Yeah, the thing is, like I did the last. Oh no! Oh no! Yikes. I'm just wondering, just tuned in. New piston rings. Yeah, I do all that sort of stuff, Timmy. I do port work. I'm definitely not what anybody might consider a pro porter. I'm a dentist by profession, and that's what consumes most of my time. But I do fiddle around with things. Oh, about the original, yeah, because it was it's a Mahle head. Mahle makes most of the OEM heads for Husky. Gilardoni and Kolbeschmidt are the other two manufacturers that I know of that make Husky heads. Of late, I think Mahle has been the primary one. But the overall issue is that most companies today don't make their own stuff. You know, Ford, Mercedes, Husky, Steel, whatever. You know, Husky and Steel both run Walbro carburetors. So think about it that way, that if you're really looking for original Husky stuff that actually Husky made in-house, I don't know how far you'd have to go back to actually find such a part, you know. Husky doesn't make bearings. They don't make, you know, just carburetors, whatever. I can't imagine they make anything in-house anymore. I could be wrong. Sorry, hang on here. So I hope that answers that question. I'm just going to go stick this in the ultrasonic for like a long time. Tillotson is still in business. Tillotson still, at least the name is there. I know that. I've got Tillotson carburetor. Actually, I've got a Tillotson carburetor coming for this thing. For this 272 I'm going to build. But anyway, this if anybody's interested in this Ratty Tatty 268, I would say $300 shipped is going to be a reasonable number for this. It's going to be effectively a 61 conversion to a 268. Brian, you're welcome to, you know, more questions, comments, anything, just let me know. And anybody else is welcome to chime in too. I don't know, obviously don't know everything there is to know about this stuff. So if you have better information than me, then please, you know, speak up. I'm going to put these in ultrasonic. Be right back. Okay. What else? While that's going, let me find some new line here, which I know I have. I just saw it. No hiding my tools. That's not nice, and I can't do bolt for bolt videos. That cut's nice. Just got to pull rope here. Bolt 1 is now junk. So I'm not going to fully tighten that yet. I need to put that through there, but I can't do that yet until I go through there. Yes, anyway. Okay. What's the next thing I gotta do? Because this saw is not far away from being done. So if anybody is interested in it, let me know. I would love to get rid of it. Because I just don't need more saws. And I enjoy building stuff with you guys, but that's pretty much the only reason why I build things, is to hang out with you, you know? So Tim, that's pretty much the reason why we're around here, is because I hang out with you guys. I like hanging out with you guys. That's kind of why I build saws. But in order to build saws, I also need to sell saws. So there's a little bit of a guilt trip placed on, you know, anybody interested in saws. How about the one that has the best recoil spring? Actually, that recoil looked pretty good. The aftermarket one I actually had on my 272 for a while, and it seemed to do okay. So this is just like one of those parts that I have keeping, you know, I keep this around just because in case I just need a cover, you know, quick, rather than trying to find one elsewhere. Nikki, I'm sure this saw would make you happy. Hey Brian, have you ever had a coil that does not have spark, but the coil is still bad? Just wondering, mine ain't sparking on the spark plug. Brian, you have to make sure that it's not grounded. So just get rid of like the wire. Husky 268, what's going on? So yeah, get rid of the wire completely, the kill wire. Just take it off and see if it starts. And then you'll have to use choke to kill it, but the Husky coils are weird. They really are. I don't know of anything that really tests coils well enough to come up with a really good verdict on Husky coils, because chainsaw coils are just weird. They can be really, really weird. I've had saws where I run through like 2 or 3 coils before I get one that actually works. It's really frustrating because for me, I've never come up with a really great way. Because the saw will run with a bad coil. It'll run. I've had plenty of saws run with bad coils. And you put a good coil in and it runs like perfect. You're like, whoa, what happened? But diagnosing is really hard. I don't know. I think chainsaw coils are just different than other coils. There's this hoodoo voodoo thing around Husky coils. Just is. It's weird. What's next? I know what I wanted to try to figure out. These darn clutch covers. Hang on. These clutch covers. Mhm. So I was going to use, this is an original clutch cover. I was going to use this. But one of the funky things about 268s is that if you order like a 268 brake band, it's not the right brake band. The question is a 288 brake band correct? And the answer is, oh yes. What a pain in the... I got on there one day and I ordered brake bands. Like, I ordered 3 of them. It's like, oh, shoot, I'll just order 3 brake bands. Nope, that's wrong. Try again. So let me show you guys what the mistake was. And I don't know. Actually, so this was the brake band that I got when I ordered 268 brake bands. Now that's very different from this one, because this one comes down and around in reverse. This one comes down and around. So very different. Right, so Brian, if you're getting spark and you've got compression, then you have to look at fuel or timing. Hey Dan, hey Roadrunner. So anyway, so these are no good. That works. So if anybody can tell me what those other brake bands are for, I'd appreciate it. So let's put this together. Tell everybody this is not a cooking show. I don't have everything prepared. I just kind of follow my nose when I'm putting stuff together, you know what I mean? I love these metal trays. They hold stuff really well. I happened to pick them up like on clearance. I picked up 10 of them, or 10 sets rather, because they were on clearance at Pep Boys for $6 for 4 of them. Ah, couldn't go wrong. Did I forget the dog bolts on that? Maybe. I'll have to work on that. Okay, so let's put this for the moment. There, brake band goes in like that. Little screw at the top holds it in. Phillips coarse thread. Splash the cash. Nice bars, by the way. You like that, Nikki? I couldn't help myself, Nikki. I couldn't do it. When Dave proposed those, I'm like, oh man. Ah, what was I supposed to do? I had to do it. Roll pin here. And then we've got, this is going to seat right in here. Good. You got the pin here. Somebody on Facebook was mentioning this pin tonight. They were having trouble getting the pin out, and my suggestion was, and this is an auto punch. You know, ka-clunk, you just hit it, but bam, and it just kind of moves the pin a little bit to start. Very effective. It gets it going, you know. There's the pin. Hold it in. Yep, well, 3553 coil. 353 coil works on which saw? Which saw are you doing, Brian? 353 coil works essentially on 350, 346 XP, 372, even a 390. It'll work on all those basically. 272, no. It will not. Sorry. Hey, Lucky 7. And since I happen to have a flapper right here, I'll use that one. I think I'll use that top piece and that bottom piece. Yeah. Yeah, 272 has a different coil than the 3 Series, so you're out of luck there. Alright, so let me put this flapper in. Sorry, just pulling this darn thing out. I need a punch. Quick tap. No wonder this isn't work. Well, no wonder this wasn't running well. This is missing the spring. Conveniently, I have the spring over here. Down there. Down there. I may need that. Actually. Is the muffler getting a port job? Yeah, probably. No, on this one, no. On the one that I convert to a 272, yeah. I usually work over the mufflers pretty good, but not all the time. Pull that out. Now we put in the spring, which is right here. Did anybody here I haven't given a shout out to? Thing is, I forget the way this goes in. I think it's that way. I don't know if you guys can see it. Where's my flashlight? Here it is. There. That's pretty good like that. Hopefully that's right. Now I can put this pin back, or whatever that is, what I'm going to call it, with an E-clip. I'm going to go the other way here. Again, if anybody's interested in this build, they want to have the saw, this will indeed be for sale. that gets pushed on. This gets tapped. You tap that in, and then you set this other one in. That gets tapped a little too. Screw and in. Sean, I just use my cell phone because it does everything live here. I was using my wife's Canon SLR and then editing stuff, but since I hate editing, I'm not doing that anymore. And of course, I'm an idiot. Somebody's supposed to tell me you forgot something, Matt. This one I'm going to get lucky, I think, but this will go. Up and under there. Theoretically. Man, am I going to get lucky on that. Amazingly, one of these screws I found stuck to the cylinder head. I think, if I remember right. What are the odds? Yeah, I haven't tried the Dominator pistons yet, or Dominant saws, or whatever it is. Have not tried that yet. Don't know if I will. I don't really need to be honest. That's gonna be tight. Whatever. I mean, if you want to play around with that stuff, that's fine too. That's a solid clutch cover. Let's put it down here. Let's see if I can pull it back so it loosens up. Oh yeah. Perfect. There you have that. All back together. It's not pretty, but it is going to work. Now we got that ready to go. on the starter cover and see if it's but piston and ring and head gasket after the lid piston got scored. If the piston scored, it's time to pull the thing apart, figure out why it scored. Throwing a new head on is without first diagnosing why it scored is not the best of ideas. I'll be back. Maybe I'll play this up. That actually turned out pretty nice. Look at this, guys. Which Mega was up by Isuzu failed the safety. Oh man, I'm sorry, Mega. It's not too bad. It ain't great, but make sure the spring gets nicely coated. Oh, I forgot the cap. Let me get that. Timing can be, Brian. Timing can be off if you are, if you sheared a flywheel key. saw's not running right, the first place that I go is usually the carburetor. And then after that, probably the coil. But make sure you get a good carb first, you know. Right, is the plug wet? Is it dry? Good point, Nikki. If the plug's dry, it's a good indication you're not flowing fuel. You got to go back to the carb. Get that figured out, you know. Do the plugs wet? Yep. How is this? Give it the old. The old heat. Gonna wrap it around itself. Okay. Good. Yeah, like Craig said, pull the flywheel, check the flywheel key. Or, again, make sure that the kill wire is off. Because if the kill wire, if the kill wire is somehow shorting to the case, like if something's frayed or damaged, then that can be a problem there, you know? How's that, guys? Perfect. Put this on there, put a couple of bolts on, a couple of nuts rather. We got the dog here. That too. Okay. Need 4 screws. We're gonna get those. I'm gonna pull them off my aftermarket cover here. Don't want to tighten these down too tight. I like making sure that the flywheel engages properly before these are fully down. Yeah. Good. Mega, I think the spec is somewhere around there. I only use 13 foot-pounds, but the spec is higher, is significantly higher, somewhere around there. Just before it shears. And Nikki would know exactly right when it shears. Oh yeah. Now we're getting somewhere. That's about as far as I'm going to take that tonight. The carburetor is what we're going to do hopefully tomorrow night. Hopefully I'll have the carb kit tomorrow night. And I don't know if the brace for the exhaust is coming in the highway stuff or HL Supply. I don't know. But HL Supply was supposed to be delivered yesterday. Was supposed to have that new 272 head yesterday. It didn't come. The post office is late, actually, on a few packages of mine. It looks like they've kind of lost a couple packages. Poor Mega. Maybe not poor Mega. I don't know. No, it didn't have the flat wheel off. Put a wrench on the clutch side crank bolt thing to keep. Clutch side crank bolt thinking. It doesn't matter, Brian. If it slipped a little bit, it still might be off. You still want to check it. It's 25. I think the spec is actually like 26 foot-pounds. I use 13 foot-pounds. I don't have an issue with 13 foot-pounds. A little bit of blue Loctite on the threads, not on the tapers. You'd have clean tapers. 18 to 25. I use 13. So I understand what the spec is. It's higher, yeah. 18 to 25. That's probably closer. But I don't have trouble at 13, so. I have 30 seconds. Servo light. Too small. What else? Anything else, guys? I'm a bit at a loss. I'm just waiting on a lot of stuff right now. I've got a lot of stuff that I'm. No, Brian, ask questions all you like. The sometimes this is a good forum for certain questions. Other times the online forums are better spots, Brian. So OPE forum or Arborist site. Sometimes it's easier to go there because what happens is you can post pictures and more information and whatnot. Any other questions, comments before I call it a night? Over tightened. Yeah. Okay. Well, great. Don't. That's why I don't like over tightening flywheel nuts. It bothers me. Partially because it's such a pain in the neck to get flywheels off. Anyway. Um. I try not to over torque them. What else? Yeah, I'm just waiting on lots of stuff. I'm glad we made fine progress on this. I'd love to sell this saw. It's a 268 or will be a 268, um, with a nice new ring in it now. So it should make fine compression. If anybody's interested, it'll be a great firewood saw. $300 shipped, I think, is going to be reasonable for it. Um, Questions, comments, anything else, guys? Is there any questions that I missed? Somebody posed a question and I somehow missed it. Sometimes I miss. I don't see every single comment. I try, but hey, Boneyard, welcome. We're just about to call it a night. Sorry, just about to call it. Thanks, Nikki. Appreciate it. Yeah, these two series are certainly fun things. But man, I've spent an astronomical amount of money to just to piece these things back together in a way that will be sort of complete. So everybody, of the parting word is be real careful what you spend on used chainsaws. Real careful. They got to be cheap, fellas. Cheap. Cheap, cheap, cheap. Otherwise, there's just no room here. I've said it before, I'll say it again. Always ask the question, when was its last rebuild? I don't care if the saw is a year old. If it's a used chainsaw, when was its last rebuild? If the answer is or never, then the price goes down. 266 to 272 King original. I don't think so. The 266 is probably a little bit different. 268 and 272 are okay. The 266, I don't think so. Big shout out to James and Ken for moderating. Appreciate you guys. The Faust family is probably watching, so everybody have a great night there. Shout out to William Prophet and his mom. I feel for you, buddy. You guys take care. Broke a piston ring on a 60. I did too, Matt. Last Sunday, there was a reason why me and Husky Boy Mason were here tearing that thing down and building it back, because I hooked a ring. Shucks, So he's been out testing the new head on that, and I guess he's liking it. I guess it's pretty good. So yeah. Unhook the power wire to see if it's shorting. Yes. Unhook the kill wire. At the coil. Unhook the kill wire at the coil. They need to be free. Yep. Preferably free. These guys that think that their part saws are worth, even a running saw, even a runner. These big saws, all it runs, yeah, great. Okay, is it complete? Probably not. When's the last time you changed out the seals and the bearings? No. The price goes down because those saws have a tendency to eat themselves because the darn seals are a little bit, hard or whatever. They're not holding pressure. Not good. So just consider that the price goes down, down, down on used saws. Be real careful with what you pay for used saws. Anything else? Matt, best of luck. Again, shout out to James and Ken for the moderators on the channel. And that's about it. Kill wire disconnected. Yeah, you won't be able to short it. You won't be able to turn it off effectively. Mega, have a great night. Appreciate you coming by. Take care, guys. Have a great night.